The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Sirinthip Pengprasittipong. Chapter 22. In the haunted house. About noon the next day, the boys arrived at the dead tree. They had come for their tools. "I say, Tom, do you know what day it is?" said Huck suddenly. Tom do, and then said, with a startled look in his eyes, "Good heavens! I never want you of it, Huck." "Well, I didn't either, but all at once I remember that today is Friday. Hang it, one can't be too careful. Huck, we might have got into an awful lot of trouble starting such a thing on a Friday. Might better say would. There are some lucky days, perhaps, but Friday isn't one of them." So they gave up their search and played Robin Hood all the afternoon. On Saturday, soon after midday, they was back at the dead tree again. Tie shoulder, their tools and matches off. When they reached the haunted house, the dead silence and the loneliness of the place were so repellent that they were afraid for a moment to go in. Then they kept inside the shout a dancing room with an ancient fireplace, broken window, and a ruined staircase. They talked in whispers, listening to Kate, the slightest sound, and ready for an instant retreat. After a time they became bolder and gave the pace and citizen an interest examination. Next they want to look upstairs. They drew their tool in corner and made in ancient. They found the same sign of design. They were about to go down and began work when Tom whispered, "What is it? Aren't I going as white as a sheet with fly?" "There, here is, yes. Oh, let's run." "Keep still, don't move. They are coming right toward the door." The terrified boys stayed themselves upon the floor, with their eyes to hole in the boat, and lay watching. Two men entered. Each boy said to himself that the oldest and dim Spanish who'd been in the town once or twice lately. "I never seen the other man before." The other, who was talking in a low voice, was a little fellow with an unpleasant face. The Spaniard was wrapper in big cloth overcoat. He has a bushy, white lock white therefore from under his white hat, and he wore dark spectacles. They sat down on the floor, and the author went on talking. "No, I do it over. It's too dangerous. Dangerous." Despite this dilemma, splendid to the immense pride and honor of the boy, they gasped a shiver. "It's what Redskin Joe, boys." "Don't be cold," continued Redskin Joe. "Isn't coming here in the daytime dangerous? Anyone who saw us, who expects us, I know that," repeated the stranger. "But there isn't any other place and suitable. I want to leave his place. I want to yesterday, but it wasn't any use trying to move out with those accursed boys playing over there." "Those accursed boys," Silver again. The two men got out some food and ate in silence. "Look here," said Redskin Joe after a time. "Go back to your home up the river. Why they till you take from me. I am risk going into this town just one more for a look round. We are to that job. Which you think is dangerous? After I spill round a little things, everything favorable." Then we are set out for Texas together. This seemed satisfactory, but men soon began yawning, and Redskin Joe said, "I can hardly keep my eyes open. It's your turn to watch." He soared up on four, and was soon fast asleep. Presently, the watcher began to hoot, to nod, and he too slept. The boys drew a long, graceful beat. Tom whispered, "Now our chance, come." Tom asked. Huck held back. At last Tom rose softly. But the first step in took products such a terrible kick from the rotten, for in he sank down almost at the fire. He did not make a second attempt. As the sun was setting, Redskin Joe sat up, stared out, and then stirred his companion. "What's his food?" "You are a fine watchman, aren't you?" "It's all right. Do nothing happen." "Well, it's nearly time to be moving, partner," said Redskin Joe. "What shall we do with money we are got left?" "I don't know," said the Stanger. "Leave it as we are done. It's no use talking it away still. We start out $650. In silver is a lot of carry." "Yes, but it may be a long time before I get the right chance for that job. Accident may happen, and it isn't in a very safe place. We are Barney is probably good idea," said Redskin Joe's companion, who walked across the room, raised one of the big four stones in the fireplace, and littered out a bag. He took from it $20 or $30 for himself and the same amount for Redskin Joe, and then passed it to the latter, who was on his knees and the corner, now digging with the knife. The boy forgot all their fear at the misery and an instant. With wide eyes, the whatever movement, laughed. "This is better than anything they could have imagined." Here was that best kind of treasure hunting, without any troublesome uncertainty as to where to dig. The half-beat sniffed something. "Hello!" he exclaimed. "What is it?" asked his companion. "It's a box. I believe he held. My aunt will see what's here for." "Never mind. I made hole in it." He put his hand, and he drew it out. "It's money!" The two men examined the handful of corn. They were gold. The boy above's accent is that mine, and as delight. "There's an old ratty pig in the corner," said Stanger. "I saw it minutes ago." He ran and bought the boy pig, and sped Redskin Joe took the pig, looked it over coolly, shook in his, muttered something in himself, and then began to use it. The box was soon uneared. "Partner, there are thousands of dollars here," said Redskin Joe. "I often heard of Morrell gang was around here all summer," remarked the Stanger. "This is probably their money. Well, no, you won't need to do that job." The half-breed foreigner, a weak light shone in his eyes. "You don't know me. It isn't robbery altogether, to reward, and I'll need your help in it. All right. What shall we do with his body again?" "Yes." The boy above were delighted. "No. Deep disappointment above. I never forgotten. That pig has flesh it on it. The boy was stick with terror in a moment. Why are pigs and spades here? Who bought them? Have you asked anybody? Seen anybody? What? Shall we busy it again and leave them to come and see the cow? Disturbed. Never. We are take it on my plate. Why, of course. You meant number 1. No, number 2, under the course. Repealed Redskin Joe. Number 1 is not safe enough. All right. It's nearly dark enough to start. The half-breed got up and went about from window to window, casually peeping out. Who could have brought that tools here? He asked pleasantly. Do you think they can be upstairs? The boy blushed and cold. Redskin Joe put his hand on his knee, stood for a moment underside, and then turned toward the staircase. His step came creeping up the stair. Would the boy were shivering, as if with dozen feet. Cast Redskin Joe and on the floor, amid the rotten wood of the fattened staircase. He picked himself up, coughing, and his companion said, "Now what do you two of what? If anybody's up there, let them stay there. Who cares? In my opinion, whoever left that tool. He got sight of us at you. We were devil, of course. I bet they are running yet." Redskin Joe muttered for some time. Soon afterward, they slipped out of the house in the deepening twilight and moved toward the river with their precious box. Tom and Huck got up, went in immediately, relieved they had not a silent desert, followed Redskin Joe and the stranger. They were content a reach of ground without broken neck. They did not talk much on the way home. They were too busy hanging themselves and the backlog and made them take a tour there. But for that, Redskin Joe would never have spectre and would have left the silver and the gold, determined to keep a lookout for that Spaniard when he came to town, spying out portion to do his river-careful job, and to follow him too. Number 2, wherever that might be.